the life. Living the life. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to Living the Life on today, Wednesday, the 28th of August, with Naeem Raza
and Rahim Jung. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Eid Mubarak to you. It's been a long time, hasn't it?
It's been a long time.
It has indeed.
Alhamdulillah. Well, tonight we're back, of course, and what is Wednesday, isn't it?
It is Wednesday. It doesn't feel like a Wednesday.
It doesn't indeed. And it's been an absolutely beautiful day, of course, 28th of August, alhamdulillah. And we have got a beast of a show tonight.
We have indeed lined up. We've got a whole range of things. No, not quite. But I tell you what, it is an interesting show we have tonight. You know, mashallah. Now, our first guest of this evening is a man, as you'll see from his outfit, who's used to doing things strange and wonderful.
It reminds me of Crocodile Dundee.
He does a bit, but his name is Bush Tucker Ali Aziz. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the show.
Walaikum salam.
Now you're going to be telling us a little bit about bushcraft, how to stay alive,
not witchcraft. Not witchcraft. Just in case anybody starts tweeting. Bushcraft.
How to rip apart a squirrel, as my producer said.
I was looking more at crocodiles.
No crocodiles. We might have a few squirrels on the show.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Alhamdulillah. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, two people who are aggressive, who are acting, alhamdulillah. A play that's coming up very, very shortly across London. It was performed very recently as well, is Bilal Mia and Muhammad Noor Al Mia. Assalamu alaikum. And I'm assuming, looking at your T-shirts,
yes,
that's the title of the play. Is that right?
No, that's the title of the campaign.
It's the title of the campaign?
Yeah. The theme of the Mela was Discover Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, so we decided to wear this to promote our campaign.
Well, we're going to find out a bit more.
And you know what they're going to help us with? They're going to help us with stage fright. How do you get over stage fright? Because it's really scary sometimes. It is. I remember the first time I spoke publicly. I don't think you ever had stage fright, did you?
Nah.
I reckon you were born speaking publicly.
Hey? Yeah, I think so. And our last guest, of course, is, when we're talking about the Beast, his name is Salah The Beast. He'll be joining us very, very shortly, and he is the world Muay Thai champion. So we're going to find out more from him, inshallah ta'ala, very, very shortly. Coming up first and foremost is our first video of the evening.
Now, very interesting VT indeed. This is one from Japan, and I think you'll see there's a certain theme with this, because you know what? With great power comes great responsibility.
Who said that?
I know it's famous. Someone could Google and let us know that if they want. With great power comes great responsibility. Anyway, you will see from our next clip what is happening.
Well, this 27-year-old is seemingly going around helping people in a very unorthodox and interesting way.
Yay, a real-life superhero at last. This is Tadahiro Kanemasu, Japan's newest masked crusader, and a man who's doing his part to make the world a better place. He calls himself the Carry Your Pram Ranger, and yes, his identity is a secret. Donning this bright green lycra costume, he waits by the stairs at subway stations to lend his strength to people lugging heavy baggage, the elderly or mothers with prams. All you can see are his eyes, which are visible behind the mesh of a matching green mask. He's spent 3 months helping people at a station in western Tokyo, which, like many in the city, has neither lifts nor escalators, and a long flight of dimly lit stairs.
This station has neither escalators nor barrier-free equipment, so people appreciate this service very much.
Hauling luggage up 2 flights of stairs is heavy labour for many.
He was a great help, though I thought he's a bit odd.
Tadahiro, whose name incidentally includes the word hero, admitted that he got off to a bit of a rocky start.
At the beginning, when I started this thing, people called me a weird guy and even were telling me to back off. But after several months, they're now calling me a good weird guy and became friendly to me.
Children generally gravitate towards him. There are those who look on quizzically, but most of them come up to him for photographs.
He looks like a hero to me.
Hayato Ito works with Tadahiro the man at a restaurant-cum-organic food store, and says his colleagues' kindness to others over the years means his metamorphosis into a superhero hasn't come as a complete surprise.
There were signs of this from a long time ago, but finally he flowered as a hero.
I can do this only a couple of hours a day due to my work shift, so I want to have a team of volunteers to make the service offered all the time. I want to see red, blue, yellow and pink rangers joining me.
Well, Tadahiro need not wait long. The race is on to find candidates for the rest of the Power Rangers, and rumours are rife that the ones for the pink and red suits have already surfaced.
Well, when he opened his mouth, it wasn't Vinnie Jones, was it?
He didn't sound that tough, did he, Mr. What was his name? His name's Hero.
Hero.
Do you know what Tadahiro his name is? You know what? There is actually a
You know
sign.
what that means?
What does it mean?
The hero.
Oh, there is actually science about people's names following their professions. I know a psychiatrist who's named Brain. There's plumbers, and they become plumbers. And I won't tell you the name of my dad's urologist. Anyway, look, while you guys were watching that clip, a special visitor dropped by our studio, and joining us on our Living the Life sofa this evening, we have our very own superhero.
Indeed, but who is he? We'll be giving you clues throughout the program, and we'll announce who's inside at the end of tonight's show. But in the meantime, you have to guess.
Do you have any ideas?
I've got a rough idea.
Oh, I know exactly what it is. I know, because I saw him put his costume on.
No, I'm pretending I didn't see him.
All right.
I'm pretending I'm trying to guess like everybody else.
I'll give you a clue. Do you fancy a bit of cheddar? Bit of cheddar. That's a clue. If you did, this is a man who'd sort you out.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well...
You're supposed to come up with some ideas after that.
It's a difficult one, that one.
Come on. What else?
I'm not too sure. But anyway, look, I think we want to hear from you guys, and of course you can tweet us at Islam Channel, hashtag LTLife as usual, and let's see how many people can come forward with as many guesses as possible and find out exactly who's sitting behind that costume and who is our superhero on Living the Life this evening.
That's right, we'll be revealing it, and we do want to hear from you. Of course, we love it when you get in touch. We like to read out as many of your tweets as we can. It's part of the show, you guys contacting us telling us what you think, and us telling us what you think. You telling us what you think, and us reading out all of your tweets as we go.
Indeed. Well, carrying on with the theme of heroes.
That's right.
Our next guest is a hero as well.
That's right. He has an incredibly wild side. He is a bush tacker. Spent years honing skills like hunting, survival, and bushcraft.
He joins us now to talk more about life on the wild side. Welcome to the show, bush tacker Ali Aziz.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Proper Crocodile Dundee.
I'm telling you.
Oh, not so. Bushcraft Valley will be fine.
Now listen, you were originally in the army, is that right?
That's correct, yes.
And was that an ambition from a very young age that you wanted to be in the army?
Well, first of all, it was more of a career move as a youngster. It was very enjoyable, great experiences. Unfortunately, as time went by, I had an injury, and I was discharged from the armed forces. But the main form is that I learned a lot from there.
I mean, obviously, you pick up a lot of life skills, you know, life-saving skills, survival skills. I mean, it's quite phenomenal. So the transition from there to where you are now, what happened?
It was huge, and at that time, I wasn't even a Muslim. So, you know, it's just, I thought I was a Muslim by name, but obviously when I came out, I became Muslim, and I loved the outdoors so much, and I gained great experience in the armed forces, and later turned to bushcraft.
In bushcraft, I mean, we see, what's the guy's name? You talking about Bear Grylls?
Bear Grylls.
Like we see, I mean, it's become quite popular recently, but although it's popular more recently, it's something that really goes back to ancient skills, isn't it? It's about learning stuff that people before modern day just took for granted, a lot of it, isn't it?
It's great. It's gone back way back to like centuries of time, like with the Apaches, and the Indians, native Indians, and it's still some are existing in Canada today. And it's interesting to look at because they've shown there is natural things you can do, like gathering food and hunting the fish and trapping of wild animals. And this is a very natural way to do this.
I mean, look, talking about things that are natural, I mean, nowadays, natural thing is to sit on your iPad, your phone, technology. I mean, how difficult it must it be for someone like yourself, looking at your outfit, looking at the skills that you've learned, putting them into practice. There must be other people around you thinking, what's wrong with this guy?
Well, unfortunately, it's sad for them, in my perspective, because when you come away from this environment of technology and fast food, and you go into the wild and the woodlands, I find it very spiritually lifting, especially when you make a fire, or you've got maybe your own food source, or you caught your own wild food, or you gathered some wild food as well, and you cooking around a fire, you start really getting close to Allah, and you start contemplating the beauty around you. It's phenomenal.
Well, look, we're going to come back to you in a minute. I want to find out specifically about water, because ultimately it comes down to fluid surviving, doesn't it, more than anything else?
Not just fluid, there's many...
And I think a stick like that as well, with a pointy thing at the end of it. That helps as well.
Defensive.
Well, look, we are going for our first break of the evening now.
Stay with us, and we'll see you in just a few minutes' time.
That's a serious...
Coming up after the break, an award-winning women's association is set to change lives in Saudi Arabia. And we get wild with Bush Tucker Ali. There's still so much more to come on tonight's Living the Life, so stay right where you are.
Living the life.
This program is...
Living the life.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Living the Life. With us still on the sofa is Bushtaka Ali Aziz and our superhero.
That's right.
We've been trying to ask you this evening to guess exactly who it is.
We want to hear from you on Twitter if you think you know. Now, we did give you a clue earlier that if you're looking for a bit of cheddar, this might be your man. I'll tell you another clue. You can tell by looking at our superhero there. Unlike us, he's not calorifically challenged. He's obviously very fit.
Yeah,
like maybe
myself.
There's some kind of athletic background going on there. Yeah.
Well, anyway, some of the guesses so far, someone just says Spiderman.
That's a good guess.
That's a really
good guess there, I have to say.
With great power comes great responsibility with Ben Parker.
Oh, Spiderman. Oh, I'm sure someone else said it before Spiderman.
And we've also got Miss M. She comes and says, good to see you brothers back.
Ah, very nice. Well, we still want to hear. Let's have some guesses about who is in our Spider-Man outfit today here on the sofa. And you know what? I actually think, of all the superheroes, he's my favourite. Spider-Man was my favourite superhero. Yeah, I just think there's something very cool about it. He's nodding away there.
Batman's mine.
Really?
Definitely.
Batman doesn't have any powers or skills.
No, it's just the whole Gotham City and all that. I love that. Gotham City and all that.
It's not really, no.
I know, but, you know, I like it. It's a bit like Glasgow.
Well, no. Anyway, moving on now. In a far-flung corner of Saudi Arabia, life can often be harsh and beliefs a little bit rigid. But Women's Association is hoping to change all of that.
Yes, that's right. And it's called Herfa and is turning life around for a group of Saudi women by turning their home craft and skills into profit. Rachel Dean has more on this.
As far as women's groups go in the Arabian Gulf, this one in Saudi Barada city is a winner. Herfa runs a number of sustainable programs to promote female artisans in the kingdom. It's already won accolades from the European Union as well as UNESCO, the UN's heritage body. You see, the idea of Herfa is to combine Saudi heritage with modern skills so that women can create a correlation of old and new. Women are offered courses and training in a variety of sectors, and one of the women, Omar Jouaz, says it's allowed her to take part in several exhibitions and festivals.
Since we joined to work with the Herfa Association, we have been offered to participate in exhibitions and festivals. We have been asked to produce artwork for them. Praise be to God, we have a good income. Thanks to them and God for that.
Herfa employs 35 women and has 160 members. It says the numbers mean that 350 families in the region are being supported on a sustainable basis. It's now in its 10th year and established the first business forum in Radar in 2007. That brought together over 140 women craft workers and also held traditional fashion shows.
I had no job before, but Herfa has created many jobs, especially for Saudi women. We now have an income and a profession. Herfa has taught us, Saudi women, how to work, to get jobs and how to have an income.
In recent years, Burda has worked to turn itself into a trading hub for the ancient desert commodity. Here at Herfa's headquarters, women pack dates ready to be shipped out for business. Somewhere on the other side, women will also be involved in marketing the dates and selling them on. Perhaps an indication that change for Saudi women is just around the corner.
Well, indeed, changing times for women in Saudi Arabia.
That's right.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
Changing times, I don't know how effective it's going to be, but obviously it's the first time we've had a bush tucker on our show in the last year and a half nearly. Now look, Azibay, let me ask you a question. What are the basic skills that people need to be able to go out?
Well, first of all, I won't recommend anybody to go in any environment without having some sort of knowledge. Especially if you need water source, you might need a shelter, because the weather can change very fast. So having some basic knowledge of how to make a shelter, how to build a fire, how to look for water, or if there's a source or which you passed, if it does get a bit dangerous, you can always go back to it.
I mean, how far are we talking about from home?
It depends. You know, if you're going for a weekend or for a week, you can travel miles in one day. But like I say, the environment can change. It can catch you out very fast if you're not careful.
What do you do when you find a big spider?
Normally I put them in a jar, but unfortunately this one's a bit too big to put in my jar.
Isn't that where that spear comes in handy with the...
Definitely, I'll fend them off if they're too big.
Spiderman's scared.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned water. I mean, we can go for days and days without food if we have to, but water is something that you cannot survive long without. Definitely. I remember reading this SAS survival book once, and it was. I remember thinking, I must remember this, because there were two or three.
Did you want to be one of them, did you?
I didn't. I was just this book. It was really interesting, honestly, how to survive in exactly the sort of environments you're talking about. And they had some very simple ways of getting water, using plastic sheets. And
it is possible, yes.
Yeah.
It's like all you do is you dig like a small hole, approximately about 1 metre in circumference. You put a sheet across, put large rocks around it.
Yeah.
Underneath you have like a small container to where the droplets will get down. So you put a stone right in the middle of that sheet.
Yeah.
And the pressure and where the water condensation, the water, the morning dew, it will leak down into that container.
Now, if people want to find out a little bit more about the wild, going out, enjoying a lot of nature and beauty a little bit more, what's the best way?
Well, there is lots of bushcraft courses online. There is so many to choose from, different prices, different locations. Knowledge-wise, you can go with the courses, or there is lots of people who are doing lots of educational videos on YouTube as well.
And what about yourself? If people want to get in touch with you, if they want to find out, if they want to accompany you on one of your wild missions out there?
Well, inshallah, I've been speaking with a friend of mine, we revert to reality. We're hoping to make these courses available soon, inshallah.
Inshallah. Excellent. Well, very good.
Stay with us, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. We're about to go for our next break, inshallah.
That's right. Now, you've got about 3 minutes to grab a quick cup of tea, and we'll be seeing you in just a minute.
Coming up after the break. Wrestling is a new entertainment sport in the Middle East. It's the Arab-Israeli Joint Wrestling Festival. And actors Bilal Mia and Muhammad Noor Al-Amin join our studio. You don't want to miss out on all this, so we'll see you in just a few minutes.
Living the life.
Ramadan.
Living the life. Living the life.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Living the Life. Now, still on the sofa, we still have our superhero, Spider-Man himself.
That's it.
And of course, the challenge we've set this evening is for you to establish who exactly is behind the mask.
That's right. We want to get those tweets in. We've got another clue now. He could be associated with a British Olympic team, maybe something to do with a stick. Come on now, we should have lots of people tweeting us in now telling us who they think it is.
We've had a few correct ones, but I'm not going to read them out yet.
We don't want to read them out yet.
No, we're not.
Right.
Now, moving on. A recent study suggests that half of all 7-year-olds in the UK don't get enough exercise.
What about 47-year-olds?
It's been a good Ramadan.
The research conducted by the University College London says that girls are far less active than boys. So here today to talk about more about what we can do with get our youngsters active is the world champion of Muay Thai kickboxing. He goes by the name of Salah The Beast. We're very pleased he's here with us tonight. Assalamu alaikum, Salah.
I can't see him for these belts, mashallah.
Belts, mashallah. And I tell you what, I picked up this one just during the break. It's
heavy,
You need to be pretty fit just to carry this around.
Very quickly, which one is the world championship belt? That one's there.
The world title. The
and
WMC
that looks,
world title.
Can we have a look at that? Looks prestigious to say the least.
That is beautiful, isn't it?
Fantastic.
Wow. Beautiful. Can we get a shot of that?
There we go.
There we go. Look at
and
that.
When did you win this?
I won this about a month ago.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
so that was in Ramadan?
Yeah, it was during Ramadan.
Really? Mashallah. Wow. Tell me, I don't know much about these things. It's kickboxing, is it?
Yeah, it's Thai boxing. It's very similar to kickboxing.
Right.
What's the difference?
I mean, the main difference is the use of elbows and knees and the clinch work.
What, you're allowed to use?
Yeah, you're allowed to use the elbows and knees.
Am I mistaken, or have you got a bit of a black eye?
Always got a black eye.
I just noticed. You've got a black eye.
So it is a contact sport?
Yes, it is a contact sport, yeah. And,
so I mean, you look, mashallah, you're fit, you're world champion. Where did you start off the obsession?
Well, I started off as a young boy. My father obviously motivated me and got me into the sport. He said it would be good, you know, so I can...
Was your father into sport himself?
He was, yes. He didn't compete, but he was very athletic. He used to do some sprinting, some kickboxing, some kung fu. He didn't actually do Muay Thai himself, but he kind of wanted me to do that. and he said it would be a good way to stay fit, obviously both physically and mentally, and also for me to be able to teach my brothers and my sisters at home, obviously to be able to look after themselves.
I mean, we see the whole world of MMA now, mixed martial arts, and it's interesting that these things have come together. There was always a theory in the past, and now we've seen the reality of how people do come together. They've got all these different backgrounds. I've always felt that kickboxing just seemed to be the most practical one. Just for if you're out and about and you get into a bit of trouble, kickboxing was there to help you.
Definitely. I mean, the thing with MMA fighters, all of them will have to have some sort of stand-up fighting, and they all usually go into Muay Thai. Because that's the quickest, most effective way to learn and to compete stand-up wise.
Now, you mentioned your brother and sister. Are they all quite fit, similar to yourself?
Yeah, I mean, my brother Abdurrahman, he's a British champion.
MashaAllah.
And alhamdulillah, he just got into Oxford University. So it kind of, I'm passing it on to the family, and my dad did a great job, getting us into it.
Well, we're going to come back and speak about the statistics that have just come out about 7-year-olds being very inactive nowadays. And about your own experience and how we can try and get some of the kids back on track.
Before we go to our next VT, I just want to go off script for a second. Can I borrow your stick? Just for a sec. I'll tell you why. I've seen this. Now, these kickboxers, you got... Look. Doesn't hurt, does it?
Go harder.
Can I do it harder? No way! I'm not doing it any harder, you're a kickboxer.
You might break.
I know, because you guys have got...
It feels like it's hollow.
No, but your shins are all...
The conditioning, I mean, I kicked maybe 1,000 times. Every other day. So.
Well, look,
we'll come back and speak about this very, very shortly.
Sticking with the theme of wrestling as well.
Indeed, moving on in the Arab-Israeli town of Majd al-Kuram, crowds of children and local residents are getting ready to rumble.
That's right. The town is hosting a wrestling festival. It's drawing in crowds of people, as Ashfaq Azam explains.
It's modelled on American entertainment and is aimed at raising the popularity and profile of wrestling in Israeli Arab towns. And the hook? Participation from athletes from mixed backgrounds. Both Israeli as well as Arab Israeli wrestlers are involved. The organisation which is behind the event says it wants to bring home the type of fighting you'd see on television, which not only encourages participation but entertains people too.
My goal is for us to spread in the Arab world and to achieve the dream of every Arab man who likes wrestling, so they can join the All Wrestling organization.
Wrestlers walked through smoke screens and displayed outlandish characteristics typical of the entertainment sport. And a sizable crowd of lively children looked on in amazement. The wrestlers stuck to the popular television format, which features tag teams, betrayal and masked wrestlers. 16-year-old Marcel Raslan, who fights under the name Mr. M, was touted as the youngest Arab wrestler to ever step into a fighting ring.
Since I love wrestling so much, my mother decided to search the internet about wrestling in Palestine. She found a wrestler and trainer, Mahran Abdelhaq, and she found his contact details and got in touch with him.
Mr. M can be seen here preening for the cheering crowd as he enters the ring before being hit in the back and proceeding to grapple with another wrestler. A dramatic finish saw him being announced the victor. The AWO says it hopes to hold similar events every month in different parts of the region to promote the sport, get sponsors and reach larger audiences. The organisation was founded just last year and says it wants to fight its way onto television screens and be recognised as a professional hub for sports entertainment in the region.
Wow. I've never understood that.
I can't get in. When people know it's all fake, I don't know how they do it.
There's that film, The Wrestler.
And you know what? You and I are old enough to remember Big D, Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks. Now, they were the days. They were... People with grey in their beard, they know what we're talking about.
Now, staying on the theme of costumes and theatre, a group of actors in London are trying to bring out their creative sides on the stage.
That's right. Over the bank holiday weekend, they gathered in London's King's Cross to bring one of their plays to a cheering audience. And before they join us, let's have a look at their work on stage.
Welcome to the show! Bilal Mia Mia and Muhammad Noor Alameen. Assalamu alaikum.
Well, an intriguing clip there, because all we saw was you going...
what was going on?
Well, I think on here is actually is my dad passed away, really.
Right.
I was with my friend just chilling out and relaxing and spending
Not so funny then.
No, but I should get a call from my sister, who's not obviously on the scene, but I just give me a call, and gives me the news that my dad passed away. So here in one moment I was all laughing and joking with my mate, friend, and the next minute a call from my sister saying my dad passed away. So that was the reaction of me crying out.
Now tell us about the play, because you said, when we introduced you earlier on the show this evening, you said it was on the back of the campaign No Muhammad.
Yeah.
So where did the idea of a play come into this?
Okay, the Islamic Mela organization, they asked us to do a play and on the theme of responsibility and on the life of the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So their theme was Discover Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and part of their theme was Do You Know Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Now we decided to say, in order to pass on the message of responsibility, we decided to do a play about a young man called Bilal here, a 16-year-old. He goes through life, he has a very good relation with dad, and his dad passes away and affects him. And now all the responsibility of his dad falls upon him. So what we try to pass is the issue that this responsibility is not unique to Bilal. It's actually something upon all of the Muslims. Something that they have to take responsibility of their families, their communities, and the wider Muslim community. That was the idea.
Now you guys, actors generally, it was the first time you put something together?
I'm the playwright, I'm the one who wrote the script.
And how did you cope with stage fright? Because we were talking about that earlier, because if you're not used to going on stage, it is quite intimidating, isn't it? First time, or first time on live TV?
First time last time, yeah, it's quite intimidating for me today.
Just sit next to those three characters, look at them.
I know. You think we were having an MMA wrestling championship here in the studio, wouldn't you?
Absolutely, each one has dangerous to each other.
Yeah, that's right.
Got a kickboxer here, Spiderman, you know.
Spiderman, Bush Tucker, and a world champion kickboxer. I'm telling you, don't get
I mean, you were there in without a costume or anything, but it must help going on stage with a costume on, so people can't recognise you and all the rest of it.
We have been doing these role plays and stuff for the last 4 years in our local areas, so I've had some sort of exposure to stage for the last couple of years there as well. So it was all right. You know, I found it was all right for me actually. Acting has been something. I don't know, a hidden...
You take him like a duck to water.
Yeah.
Well, look, we're going to come back to all our guests in just a moment. We are going to our final break of the evening.
Well, in just a few minutes, inshallah, we'll reveal who's inside our superhero costume. So get your last guesses in now.
Coming up after the break, children in Gaza go back to school empty-handed. A driverless car? Yes, we'll show you what one motor company in America has in store for its customers. And who is behind the mask? All will be revealed after the break, so don't go away.
Living the life.
This program is brought to you by...
Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to the final part of Living the Life. And of course we still have, as well as our Bush Tucker hero and our World Championship boxer and our actors, we've still got our superhero on the sofa, and we're asking you to guess if you know who our superhero is.
And the clues that we gave you, he had something to do with cheese.
Cheddar.
Yeah.
Bit of a cheesy surname. Likes to play hockey.
British Olympic team.
Let's hear Spider-Man speak now. Spider-Man, what do you think?
I think a lot of people should be able to guess if they listen to those clues, because they were pretty good.
They were pretty good.
Well, any other guess know who it is?
Who's Spider-Man?
Don't say Spider-Man. That's pretty obvious.
They don't know. They don't know.
We'll reveal it very, very shortly.
We do.
Very shortly.
But in the moment, we're going to be doing something. Now, our kickboxer, we want to demonstrate a kick, and our very brave cameraman, Paul, over there behind camera one, has volunteered.
We did say, don't kick him the way that Bruce Lee, the guy's flying up. I thought that was just acting, but maybe that's real.
The rest of us said, no, thank you, not me. I've got a bad back. You're too old. Listen, Paul, do you want to come forward with your cushion? Paul's coming with his cushion. Here comes Paul.
Can we put all the equipment back, because he could go flying.
Now,
can you try and stay away from me?
Okay. Okay. What type of kick are you going to demonstrate? Hold on. Let's get. We've got to get the right shot here. What type of kick are you going to demonstrate here?
Well, it's called a push kick.
Push kick.
Yeah.
Right. Is he going to go flying back?
Well, I don't think so.
Okay, hopefully he's not going to go flying back too far.
So, do you want right or left?
Whichever's good for you.
What's your weakest leg?
Careful with the table there, yeah?
Yeah, so with the right, just keep so you have to have your hands up.
Yeah.
Just hold it in front of your chest, yeah. And then here.
Oh! Well done, Paul!
So the whole point is to get you...
I want to see one of those side kicks.
Yeah, I mean, I could do a side kick.
Go on, side kick, go on.
And then...
Fuck, I felt that.
I can do here.
Oh my goodness. Are you still alive? Hope you got insurance.
Well done, Paul.
Brilliant. One more famous Muay Thai move, which is the flying knee.
Oh, the flying knee. Don't watch the flying knee, you better watch it, man, it's coming.
Just nice and light here, and then you just jump.
Oh, very good. Well, thank you very much to both of you for that.
Well done.
And thank you, Paul.
So look,
Paul, you can breathe now.
One of the things I want to ask you was obviously this survey that's come out about young children being unfit. What advice can you give to parents, particularly in relation to, I mean, you started off quite young, getting into sport.
I mean, the first bit of advice to anyone, I think, is how you carry yourself. My father, alhamdulillah, you know, carried himself very well, and I always looked up to him, and I wanted to be exactly like him. So I tried to do the same thing. I tried to carry myself, you know, well, respect others, respect people around me, always talk about positivity, and alhamdulillah, you know, with my knowledge about Islam, I'm able to do that. And the biggest advice, you know, to anyone is just, you know, carry yourself well, respect everyone around you, and just be positive.
I think one of the things I've learned from all people I know who do martial arts or any type of fighting skills, it actually keeps you out of trouble more than it gets you into trouble, doesn't it? It does tend to keep you out of trouble.
I mean, I used to get into quite a bit of trouble, you know, younger. I studied at London Academy, and, you know, I was fighting every other day. But alhamdulillah, when I got into martial arts, it made me, one, know what I'm able to do, and also, you know, what it can do to others. So, you know, I could have a fight, injure someone, you know, go down that road, or I could say, you know what, I don't want anything to do with it, but why don't you come and join me at the gym, and I could teach you.
Or you just say, before we start, mate, you should know I'm the world champion kickboxer.
Why don't you just walk around with your belt on?
You can say that.
Anyway, listen, we'll come back to you guys in a very, very shortly. One of our final VTs tonight is children in besieged Gaza Strip returned to school yesterday, and shortage of fuel and stationary supplies.
That's right. Frequent closures of the border crossing with Egypt affects the delivery of school supplies and fuel entering Gaza, as Layla Orghill explains.
Going back to school is always an exciting time of the year for many students around the world. Here in Gaza, things would feel a lot better if students could bring shiny new pencils and assorted rubbers with them. Students in Salem Elementary School are among those affected by the situation with Gaza's border crossings. The school has limited access to educational supplies, and students started off the school term carrying old desks into the classroom.
Our products are delayed on the border crossing. They are available, but they just get delayed on the border crossing.
Parents also struggle to give their children the necessary stationery supplies. One of the main problems is access to good educational books. Mohammed Abu Hamra is an employee at the bookshop in Gaza. He says children will also have difficulties in getting to school because of the fuel shortage.
The main problem with the start of the school year is going to be the lack of fuel because of the closure of border crossings and tunnels. There is going to be great difficulty in transporting the children to all schools because the majority of students use transportation to get to school.
And it's not just students that are affected. Patients seeking medical treatment have also been unable to travel because of border crossings are frequently shut. Israel cites security concerns for this, but the frequent tightening of border crossing continues to make something as simple as going to school a hard lesson. Its 4 tunnel closures since June has cost Gaza around $230 million, which is roughly £150 million. It makes up a tenth of the territory's gross domestic product. Unemployment among Gaza is 1.7 million residents is over 30%. And with children unable to get to school or get the right supplies, the economy and its prospects don't look too good.
Take things for granted, really, don't we? Just simple things like a bit of fuel, a few pencils and books and rubbers. You know, kids are all going back to school this week and next week, and I bet none of them thought about, you know, not having any basic supplies.
Indeed not. And it's the same situation in many parts of the world, unfortunately, for children. sadly.
Yeah.
Now, then, go back to our actors. But let's tell me, how effective do you think it is to have taken the campaign to stage rather than literature, leaflets?
Well, I think literature and talks and lectures and stuff are at times boring. Especially youth and young people do find it boring. So being creative and doing role plays, and the people into films and dramas and movies and stuff, they enjoy these things. So you give them a bit of enjoyment, but at the same time you give them an Islamic message about about any sort of thing about responsibilities that we're trying to do.
Mohammed, what was the feedback like? I mean, did young kids, were they interested? Did they want to get involved? Did they say, you know, we want to get involved in some acting and some drama?
Yeah, that's the case. You get a lot of youth. They like that. They didn't. One of the things they came across is that it may not be halal, and you make it clarify that it is allowed, and they get involved in it. We've got about 14-year-olds to you know, to 20 to 25, and so on. There's quite a lot of actors in the play. We've done other action as well, like the debate. There was a debate that we did on the Mela as well, and that also, the feedback that we got is the concert that was passed. So when Bilal, the concerts were about responsibility, looking after his younger brother, looking after his sister, looking after his community. He became a muazzin of the mosque. We do have one coming up, if you guys want to see it. It's in Bradford.
Okay.
This is the event. It's on the 31st.
31st of August.
Yeah. Where is it? In Bradford?
Bradford,
yeah.
Okay.
So
and where,
okay, so Queen Square.
Yes.
That's right in the centre of town.
That's right.
So where do people find out more about that if they want to?
Yeah, they can go to the website of this and find out more about
And the website is?
I think there is eidinthepark.net.
Oh, eidinthepark.net. Okay.
Yes,
I mean, it brings us, in many ways, kind of links in with what we're all talking about, which is about engaging young people, getting young people out, getting people interested in things. Are you finding that young people are interested in your courses?
Very much so. I've come across from young boys, young girls, mothers with toddlers, you name it, across the board. They're so much interested in being outside, away from the hustle and the bustle of the life. You need that fresh air. You need to get away.
I mean, a lot of young people want to be Spiderman. Yeah. And we're going to give you a name very, very shortly.
In fact, we're going to
take your mask off.
We're going to take the mask off.
We're going to give you one last chance. One last chance after this final VT, which is our video, the fanciful car coming up very shortly.
It is.
Final opportunity to tell us who's behind the mask.
That's right. Now, what happens if you take your hands off the wheel when you're driving? Well, in the year 2020...
I do that all the time.
I know you do. You've given away some dodgy driving habits live on air. You better be careful. Well, in the year 2020, absolutely nothing out of the ordinary will happen.
And that's because the car company Nissan is set to bring out driverless vehicles. What you're about to see in Paul Wick's report is motor technology at its most sophisticated.
Autonomous driving is the way forward, and Nissan says it'll be ready to hit the road in 7 years' time. Take a look at this test vehicle. There's a driver inside, but watch what happens when he takes his hands off the wheel.
Uma mensagem de esterço do volante.
The Japanese car maker says it plans to offer a few types of these vehicles, and they will be commercially viable and fully self-driving. Nissan has been researching and developing autonomous vehicles for years and says it's building a dedicated test track in Japan to ensure that the project runs on schedule.
We've announced that we'll introduce autonomous drive vehicle by 2020, and that we said that within two vehicle life cycles we'll make that technology available across the entire portfolio. And what we now need is regulatory changes to allow us to deploy that.
Tests carried out on model cars are already showing impressive results. The car turns without being steered by a human, and it can avoid a pedestrian dummy that jumps out on the road. Even reverse parking is mastered with ease, perhaps even a little better than most manned vehicles on the road. And it's not just a toy for car enthusiasts. The idea comes with an aim to make roads safer. It's thought that car crashes are the top leading cause of death in America, of people aged between 4 and 34. Nissan says almost all car accidents are due to human error, typically inattention. The company says that by taking the wheel away from the drivers, it hopes to be able to greatly reduce the number of car accident fatalities every year. The only roadblock left is America's road regulations, which say all vehicles have to be manned. Nissan and other organisations are hoping a change will allow model and prototypes to become household cars.
Boring.
Do you know what?
I couldn't do that.
Really?
Honestly, it's boring. I mean, why would I want to sit behind a car? Why would I sit behind a car and not drive it?
I think it might improve the parking of one of the genders. I don't know which one.
Parking on a serious note. Do you know what? Driving, yes, you know, these it's just taken out.
The technology is impressive, I have to say.
But you know brilliant, brilliant. But you know what? Not for me. I'd fall asleep. I might as well go in the train.
But you can fall asleep. That's the whole point. The car will drive you there. Anyway, look, our Jono Al-Salman, he made a good point. He said, who do you blame when there's a crash? Ah, that's the point, you see.
I'm okay with that one then.
Anyway, look, coming back to our superhero who can do all sorts of super things, including super parking. We've been asking people all through the show, who is it? We've had lots of clues, lots of tips. And now it's time to reveal, finally, who our Spider-Man hero is. Behind the man behind the mask is... Darren Cheeseman! Yes! Fantastic. Walaikum salam.
First of all, how did you survive?
I couldn't breathe.
It was pretty hot in there.
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah. I mean, look, you've been listening to the show all night as well. I mean, what did it feel like being a superhero for the night?
I loved it. I dress like this all the time anyway, so it's fine.
So you're not playing it. I mean, the thing, you know, tonight we seem to have a theme going on here, and it's something I know is very close to your heart, Darren, about engaging the youth, how to get them out and about doing anything constructive rather than just sitting around rotting at home watching TV.
Completely. Just this morning, well, all afternoon, this morning and all afternoon, I was coaching at a hockey camp up in Marlow, so we had probably about 120 kids on a hockey pitch, ranging from 5 years old up to 16 years old. And it's about saying kind of go and do something positive with some decent role models around you, rather than just hanging around on the street.
Are you finding more and more young people are coming out and, you know, doing things out in the open, wilderness, sport and all the rest of it? Is there a change in attitude since the Olympics?
Well, it's all about people actually giving that kind of positivity and passion towards them, because if there's nobody actually giving passion towards them, why should they feel passionate about it themselves?
It's very important, isn't it? You do, that's right. Kids respond to that very much so, don't they? Well, look, coming back to all of our guests, if people want to get in touch, if they want to get in touch with the No Muhammad campaign, if they want to get in touch with the drama, how do they do that?
You can go to the website, eatinthepark.net. You can also go to this website, nomuhammad.co.uk. You get information on this as well. In terms of, we're going to launch our own website soon called Al-Shabaab, so that will be coming out inshallah soon.
Which will have all our role plays that we've dated or historically as well for the last 4 years did, and the role play we did on Sunday as well, so we'll have all that as well.
And Salah, is it too late for myself to take up kickboxing?
No, not at all, man. I mean, you can train at any age, you know. I've got clients who are 55 years old, 65.
I'll pay to see you give him a good kick.
55, that's quite a few years older than myself.
Well, yeah. Lucky for you, don't look that old, so, you know, it's fine.
And where are you based? How do people get in touch?
I'm based in northwest London, around the Edgware, Burnt-Oak area, and you can check out me on teamsalah.com, or you can check out my Facebook, which is facebook.com/Salah Beast. I've also got a TV series which is, you know, just started, which is called Beast TV. So if you just type
Beast TV, where did the Beast come from?
Well, you know, he's within.
It's really I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So,
and Ali, over to yourself. Once again, I know that you haven't set something up formally, but you're about to. There's a lot of interest.
Yes.
People want to get in touch with yourself.
Well, a lot of people have got a tremendous amount of interest in bushcraft because there's something never seen or experienced, and they loved it. So, inshallah, I spoke with revert to reality. So, inshallah, in the future, we're looking at a possible site, and if everything works out, it'll be on that to revert to reality.
Inshallah.
And of course, Darren, Spiderman, people want to get in touch, they want to be inspired, how do they do so?
Spiderman.com. They can
I think that's my website.
DarrenCheeseman.com. So on there you'll see all about me as a hockey player, but also some of the other programs that I run as well.
And are you back on track now? Injury finished? Back on?
Injury finished, back in training.
Looking forward to Brazil, hopefully?
Looking forward to Brazil. We've got a lot to go before then, inshallah. We've got a World League in India in January.
Wow.
We've got World Cup in Holland.
Fantastic.
Then we've got the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow.
Hey, of course.
There you go.
Glasgow, that's right.
And then we're back to India in December as well. So next year's a big year.
Brilliant. Well, Jazakallah khair to each and every one of you. May Allah bless you all. And some fantastic guests tonight, some great advice, alhamdulillah.
That's right.
And a lot of fun as well. And sadly, it's the end of the show tonight. A really huge thanks to Salah the Beast, Bilal Mia, Muhammad Noor Al-Amin, Bushtaka Ali Aziz, and of course, our super life superhero, Darren Cheeseman.
That's right. We're going to be back at the same time tomorrow for our final show of the week. So until then, from all of us here at Living the Life, from myself, Raheem.
From myself, Naeem. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We keep on living the life.